welcome everybody to the meeting today. Am I on?
You are.
Lovely. The meeting today, the Finance Committee, on the 23rd of June 2025 at 7 p.m. And we welcome to everyone that's come to speak. Nice to see you here. We're just going to go through any declaration, any apologies of absence. No, we're full house today, aren't we? That's nice. Everyone's here. Any declarations of interest in relation? Hello, Mike. Councillor Hutchinson.
Interest in that Helen Hugh is a member of my Portman Walk gardening team.
Oh, lovely.
And a great job she does. But it's not linked. It's not linked to the application today.
Good. And with no public questions today. Oh, declaration of interest, Councillor
I
Gilman?
don't really know.
Go on, say it anyway. It's easier,
West
isn't
Park is in mine and David's ward, so I just...
yeah.
Okay. In the interest of transparency.
Lovely, thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to declare an interest.
Yes, Councillor Edwards?
West Park's in my ward as well as hers.
Lovely, very good. Two non-pecuniary... Were you supposed... Anyway. Lovely, better to be safe than sorry, isn't it? So we'll move on to public questions, but nobody's asked for any public questions. So we'll move on to the minutes. Item 3. Would anyone from the meeting on the 12th of May like to propose and then second? Just as a reminder, there was myself, Ailith and Councillor Wilcox. So Councillor Wilcox will propose, and it's either Councillor Hayward-Jones will second, and everyone that was there would vote, and we are in agreement. So those were agreed unanimously. And so we can move on. There wasn't any actions, was there? No. We can move on to the grant application. So 4.1, which is Circus Star, request for £2,000. And I think we've got a speaker. Welcome.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, we're doing 2 minutes this time. Just
Lovely to
good.
be here, and thank you very much for taking the time to listen. So we are Circus Star, and I know lots of you are familiar with us, and you've been very generous and supported us over a number of years. We started out as by Gandys, actually, Gandys Circus, who started Circus Star as a way of raising money for a particular child who was very ill. This was in 1987, and we've gone from strength to strength since then, to a point. We are independent of Gandhi Circus, and we tour the country and put on accessible and inclusive circus events for children and families who may have barriers to accessing performance and live performance community events in that way, usually because of the expense that is there for Main Street Theatre, etc., but also physical accessibility. And our main aim is to be available to those who can't access live performance. The performances are different every year. We were in the Big Top for a long time, spring and autumn. But since, dare I say, Brexit, COVID, and the financial crisis that is still ongoing, we have put the Big Top away for now. And this was because the cost of transporting, the logistics of that, went up by over 60%. And it was not viable for us to be able to do that for now. So since putting the Big Top away, we've gone indoor, which we were experienced in anyway, and we've managed to turn around a deficit in our accounts since then, so it was the right decision to do that. We're on tour again. We're just finishing our spring tour, but in September we're coming back to Macclesfield, and we will be at King's School. Again, who've been very helpful and made available their Jackson Hall, which is great for us because it's very accessible.
Time's up. Any questions? Councillor Edwards?
Thank you. Just a couple of things. First of all, I would say I've been to a couple of them. Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. We do our very best.
Absolutely wonderful. It's a little bit concerning to me that there was a circus in town, is that still a phrase, recently, and after a couple of days they jacked in and
They did.
moved on. But you say that you're not using a big top and there's ways of sort of saving money and so on. So at King's School, there's good parking and everything. I'd thoroughly support
It is
it.
very accessible,
Yeah.
and that's the main point. We do go to the heart, we try our very best to go to the heart of wherever we're going, so it's accessible
Mm.
by public transport as well. So yes,
Does King's School charge you
they do,
a lot of money?
and the venue charges throughout the country have gone up by at least 20% in the last 12 months. So it's a tough business,
Yeah.
keeping going. But we do keep going.
Yeah,
We battle on, because it's important to our audience. It's really important.
Please do keep going.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions? Yes, Councillor Roberts?
Yeah, again, I've been to the attended the event and it's been fantastic. Just one thing, a question I'd like to ask. So the King's School sits within Prestbury Ward as well. Have you approached Prestbury Parish Council for any funding as well to assist you with this?
I haven't as yet, but we're in the process of doing that at the moment. I've applied to Bonington as well.
Right.
Basically because of, the families come from all over the Macclesfield area, so it's not just the centre. So yes, Prestbury Council or Town Council is next on the list.
Councillor Gilman, you got a question?
So you have applied to Bollington already,
Yes,
and do they have a setup like we do?
I don't know yet. I haven't heard back.
And you haven't applied to Prestbury at all?
Not yet. No.
So are you likely to have applied and been given your decision before September?
I would hope so.
Okay. And this may not sound very good, but I'm going to say it anyway. You don't charge anybody for tickets.
No, we don't.
So who do you give them to? Because historically you've given them to the town council, because a few to the town council,
Yes.
and last year you didn't give us any.
No, we didn't, because we had a problem with capacity, and we needed to make sure that our audience were in. So, so we allocated our tickets to all sorts of support groups, SEN departments, SEN hospices, Macclesfield Hospital, and so on. And when you come indoor, it's a lot more difficult to get the size of audience that we did in the Big Top, and that includes wheelchairs, very much wheelchairs, because we have a much smaller capacity for wheelchairs than we ever did in the Big Top. What we want to do is to get back in the Big Top, but at the moment that's not financially viable. So we were unsure about the capacity at Jackson Hall. Macclesfield is a very popular show, and we didn't want to have to be in a position where we couldn't let people in. So we kept all tickets back for our audience.
Any other questions? Or I've got a few, so do you want me to think about it and you can formulate any more questions? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just got a couple of questions. One's around the toilet, the Changing Places toilet. Presumably King's School provides accessible toilet facilities as well?
Whether it's open to us at the time, but we take Revolution with us.
Right, so they go tour around with you to
They
all the
tour around,
venues?
Yes. There are some venues throughout the country which we can't access with
Right.
Revolut because there's no parking.
Okay,
So, but Jackson Hall is there, and yes, so is Revolut.
okay, so King's presumably do have accessible facilities, but it's not included within the 1,200 that you're paying?
I would have to
Check.
check up on
Okay.
that. I mean, I don't have that
At hand.
part of that side of it. I can check if you would like.
And roughly, talking about the amount of people who go to the performances, how many do you think would be from Macclesfield specifically? I know you said it's a very popular one and people come from all over. Roughly, I mean, would you have those sort of numbers?
Well, I would say that purely from Macclesfield,
Yeah.
I would say 60 to 70%.
And just the 35 tickets that because I think we paid for 50 last year, didn't we? Are those the same people that come back again, or is it allocated in a different way?
No, a lot of them are people who come back to us every year. Equally though, we try and source or find other organisations who could use the tickets that make the most of those.
Okay, those are my questions. Councillor Gilman, did you have an extra question? No. Anyone
Thank
else
you.
for any questions? Yes, Councillor Hill.
Do the organisations include the schools, or what organisations would they be?
Yes, so I mean the schools are included, yes, especially some departments within the schools. So I know Macclesfield Academy, they have tickets. Park Lane School has tickets. Mac Hospital has tickets. I mean the list is extensive.
Okay.
So some people may have 50 tickets for each show time, others may only have 10. So our aim is for the whole family to go. We want it to be a sort of family event, because then, sorry.
Pardon, yeah?
Are the schools in Macclesfield only, or is there a spread? Having said that you are, or maybe, be applying for a grant from Prestbury, would that include the neighbouring schools, or do you concentrate only in Macclesfield
The bulk
as a
of-
general rule?
Well, again, without being able to see the database, because again, it's not my side of it,
Okay.
the bulk of the schools are
In
within
Macclesfield.
absolutely, yeah.
That's okay.
And primary schools, and more senior schools as well. So they have there are a lot of families. It's not just families who may have a disability. It's also families who are struggling financially as well, or young carers. It's any of those children and families who would normally not be able to go and see a live performance.
Okay.
Right, any other questions at all from anyone? Okay, Councillor Gilman, you've...
I'm sorry, I don't understand your reply to me. You said that you kept the tickets back for the audience. I don't know what you mean.
So if we gave tickets for you people to come, that could be tickets that weren't used for the aim of our show. Does that make sense?
Yes, but it is my understanding that historically any tickets that have been given to the council have been used by either the mayor to come along and support you because we've financially supported you, and you've asked if we know of anybody who would benefit from them for the same reason that anybody else who's in your audience would benefit from.
Well, I mean, we invited the councils along, apart from anything else, to see what we do as well, which we have done for many years. This time was a new venue. We didn't know how the capacity was going to work. So we had to give priority to the organisations that we offered tickets to.
Okay, thank you.
Now we've been there and we know what capacity, how capacity pans out.
Okay, thank you very much. So, would anyone like to... So the request is for 2,000... Councillor Wilcox, you're happy to propose? And
I'm
Councillor
happy to
Stewart-Sims, happy to second. Should we take that to the vote then? All in favour? Any abstention? Oh, so all in favour. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's approved. We'll move on to 4.2, which is St Barnabas Brownies. Helen, would you like to speak to us for a minute? Yes, yeah, however you feel comfortable.
I run St Barnabas Brownies at Church on Lime Avenue on the Moss Estate. back of the church has been made into two areas, a garden area and an allotment area. 4 new raised beds have been made in the allotment area and one has been allocated to the brownies. The girls have filled the bed with vegetable seeds. We would like a grant to be able to get some children's gardening tools and gloves so that the girls can not only grow vegetables but learn more about their environment and explore nature more. We would also like to purchase some hammers and a drill to be able to teach the brownies some more DIY skills that they will not only be able to use in the future but also be able to make some new hedgehog houses and some bird houses to put at the back of the church in the garden. The church has a gardening session once a week, but we only have a limited amount of equipment. These sessions are open to the community, and we also have other groups in the church that use these areas as well. So having some new tools would make it safer environment. The DIY skills that the brownies learn are part of their Girl Guiding curriculum that they can obtain their badges for, and are skills for life in helping them in the future. The garden section isn't very large, but during the summer the girls like to get outside, and so we would love to be able to provide some outdoor games equipment that can also be used by other groups from the church. Part of the Girl Guiding is that they allow DIYs now to use hammers and stuff to make stuff with. And part of their not only learning about nature, they will also be able to make hedgehog houses and bird houses, so we'd love to be able to teach them how to make some of them.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Helen. That's wonderful. I'd just like to say a big thank you for the amount that you do for the St Barnabas Brownies. I mean, I've seen you fundraising tirelessly in the treacle market, and you do so much. So I'd just like a big thank you. Any questions? Oh, and just before the questions, I'm no longer a trustee for Create. My time came to an end, just in case anyone was wondering if I should have done a non-pecuniary interest, but I'm no longer a trustee there, because I know that Create also use the space at the back, so I know what it looks like.
We just don't have many in the community for the garden, so we want more tools and try and create it. Excellent. So that more people will get involved to try and redo all the garden, because it desperately needs it. It does need it,
indeed. So who was the first hand up? Councillor Gilman, would you like to ask your question?
Every now and again, a grant application comes along that makes me smile on the inside, and this is one of them. And it's not a bad but, so don't worry. You've requested £250 and you've got no matched funding, and if there's a balance outstanding, you're going to try and fundraise to make up. And presumably, if I've read it correctly, you want to do all the things on this list. I sat today and went on Amazon and listed all the things, and it comes to more than £250 without even the outdoor sport games in there. And that was choosing things that were at the lower end price-wise. Now, in a lot of cases, the lower end price-wise won't last as long as something that perhaps is a little bit more expensive. So I wondered if we could perhaps entertain the idea of increasing the grant.
I'm sure you can put a proposal forward, Councillor Gilman. I'm absolutely happy for you to put a proposal forward. Should we let other people ask their questions first of all, and then we'll discuss the proposal? Is that allowed? Yeah. Any other questions?
This is not a question, it's a comment. I'm in a way grateful to that area that started from the bottom and worked its way through the years, and how it's improved. The only thing I got against it is getting there. I lose my way getting to St Barnabas. But I would like to second that idea of increasing the grant, because I think it's a worthy area that, from a reputation of such poverty and deprivation in Macclesfield Borough as a general idea, that I would say what I usually say, those who need more get less. So I would like you to get a bit more, to do a bit more.
Thank you.
No, mess. Councillor Gilman, what's your suggestion of a proposal then?
Chair.
Oh, hello, was there another question?
Well, I'm
Councillor?
just going to show my appreciation as most people who see us sat on the town council think we're highly paid people doing this job and don't realise we're actually volunteers. So for you to, not only to kind of help me out with the garden at Bolton, but to do all this work as well for Brown is incredible. So I just wanted to say a big thank you really for what you do.
Lovely, thank you very much. Let's move on to the proposals. Councillor Gilman, what are you proposing?
Wow. I don't know. So a conservative estimate, I got to £300 easily,
Okay,
and I was,
cheap end.
I hadn't factored in everything on that.
Okay,
list.
are you thinking £500?
I think we should just double
Okay.
it.
Proposal from Councillor Gilman for to increase the grant to £500. Is there anyone to second
I
that?
put up my hand too fast.
Okay, Councillor Harewood has seconded that. Should we take that to the vote then? Everyone in favour? Lovely. Grant approved for £500. Thank you so much for all you do, Helen. Right, let's move on to the Satellites of Macclesfield Swimming Club. Tristan, thank you for coming to talk to us.
I wasn't expecting to come and nearly cry myself. Congratulations. So my name is Tristan Batt. I'm a committee member at Satellites of Macclesfield, and I'm responsible for fundraising, sponsorship, and Parent Academy liaison, basically dealing with parents. Satellites of Macclesfield, we're a Swim England affiliated club. We've been in Macclesfield for over 50 years. We have 130 swim members from learn to swim, so think about the 6, 7, 8 year olds, sort of learning how to sort of improve their time and their skills in the water, through to academy, so the kids who are transitioning through to what we call squads. And then we've got a masters section, and we've got a para section as well. And the club is represents Macclesfield through county championships, regional championships, and national championships as well. So the club over the last few years has been challenged with effectively the price of pool hire going up, energy costs going up, obviously keeping the pool heated and everything. So we've been working hard to try and maintain the access to swim for our members for the last 12 years. And actually last year we started our first fundraising sponsorship program. So all the revenue that the club has been making historically is either through galas, so events that we organise at the leisure centre, or through parents paying for access to swim, which obviously limits a bit what we can do for them, because we want to make swimming accessible. So we launched our sponsorship program last year, and we've been able to secure 3 new sponsors, which means we've now got the funds to be able to match the funds that we're applying the grant for. The grant, we're looking to focus the money on 3 key things really. One of them being an improvement on the equipment we use. So even though the kids are in the water, certain levels have to be out of the water and do what we call land trading. They're currently using balls that are leaking, the sand's falling out and all that kind of stuff. So we want to upgrade of equipment and the change of equipment. We want to provide the academy, so think of the sort of kids who are on their journey of swimming but not quite at the highest levels yet, and we want to help them progress through. Just by budgets, we're limited to the amount of coaching we give them, and the kids all need, there's 4 strokes effectively, so the more we can give them, the better. So helping to fund coaching clinics for the kids in the academy. And then the third bit is the bit around water safety, so being able to do first aid training, water safety, which is targeted to slightly older kids, but these kids are out in the community, they're obviously swimming in different places, and we just feel being able to get the kids into water safety is really important. And the other thing is it helps us as well with life. Am I gone 2 minutes?
Yeah, but that's fine.
Sorry. That's it.
Any questions? Councillor Gilman.
Sorry. This is quite possibly me being a little bit dim. But it says on the form, please state exactly what the council funding will pay for.
Yes.
You've requested £1,260.50p.
Yeah.
That list of things that our funding is going to pay for isn't going to pay for all of those things, because I've just bought a tempo trainer, they're 50 quid each and you want 6 of them, as well as a lot of other things.
Josh, can I answer that then?
Please.
Yeah, we weren't sure on the form whether you want us to list out everything in with the match funding. So the list includes your fund and the match funding.
Okay.
So I think we misunderstood the sort of request.
It might be me that
No,
misunderstood.
apologies. And it's actually something that I did pick up when we submitted it. I was like, effectively that list underneath is the list of the whole fund.
Everything.
So the grant plus our match.
So £2,511 or whatever,
Yeah.
£21, can buy you all of those
Yes,
things.
we think so, yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Wow.
I have got on a Google Drive the list of everything with the equipment.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed.
Obviously knows where to shop. Right, Councillor Hutchinson.
Yeah, there's just a couple of things I wanted to
Yeah.
clarity on. It said, says in your form, the club are keen to support swimming and water safety initiatives, encouraging the wider community, whether club members or not, to learn essential life skills. So, is it non-club members can come along?
So that's our aim, yes. So we are part of the sort of Swim England sort of inclusivity programme, and actually just trying to broaden the access to swim is trying to get people from the community to sort of come and participate in swim. We've tried that in the past, and we've actually struggled a bit to get non-swim members in. So what we're wanting to do is get all the swim members as a first round trained up, so that when they're out and about with their friends in the community swimming, wherever it is, they've got that training as well.
Is there any way you're going to kind of market it to try and...
So we've tried, there's a few things. So Swim England have a community officer, and we held a community clinic at the leisure centre where we're based, and we didn't get anyone turn up. And there's, you could argue that did Swim England do the best job of getting that information out?
Yeah.
Potentially a bit of a challenge there, but
Again, I may have misinterpreted this, but lower down the form it says teacher costs £20 per hour, first aid instructor £20 per hour, but we don't normally pay for staffing, do we?
I don't think it's staffing. It's when you get somebody in, an
Yeah,
external person to come and do some training.
Okay.
So it's a first aid qualified teacher if you want to deliver the clinic.
Yeah, that's clear. Thank you.
Right, any other questions from anyone? No? Does anyone want to make a proposal to agree or disagree? Agree the grant of £1,260.50. Yeah, Councillor Gilman, you're happy to propose?
Yeah.
Councillor Wilcox,
Happy to
second.
second.
Thank you very much. Shall we take it to the vote?
Okay.
Lovely, unanimously agreed. Thank you very much for coming and thank you for your time. So, last but not least, 4.4, Friends of West Park, £250.
Good evening. I'm Melissa Park. I'm from the Friends of West Park. I didn't do that on purpose. So I've been treasurer with the volunteers group at Friends of West Park for the last couple of years. We are a purely volunteer group. There are 6 members, and we aim to run an event every 6 to 8 weeks, roughly, in the park. And the goal is to bring people into the beautiful West Park to come and explore the nature and the trees and experience a bit of the outdoors. So our activities are usually focused on the young members of our community. So we've run lots of things like scavenger hunts where we get a map and we encourage them to go and explore the full breadth of the park with their parents and go and find things and maybe solve a little anagram or do something that's fun, that gets them engaged with the park itself and to explore it. We've just run our first art event in the park, which has been really successful, which is aimed at an older age group, and that's what we want to try and do now, is as well as continue to do our children's events, maybe see if we could branch out and do something that will bring some different demographics into our group as well. So in our request for the grant, we're after some more
arts materials, maybe some watercolour paints, those kind of things that we can use for people that don't have them, that want to come and do some art activities. The goal is to be able to keep this group running. We've not really done an awful lot of fundraising ourselves, which I've just been talking to other members about how to start to do that. We now have our safeguarding policy in place, we've got our constitution in place, so we can now start to look for some more grants to supplement the grant that we've very kindly had from you for the last couple of years. But we will still need some grantors kind of tide us over while we're waiting for some of those applications to go in and see if we're successful. So.
Lovely. Has anyone got any questions? Councillor Harewood?
What are the schedule of events, special events that you do have?
So the events that we've got coming up, so we've got our second art event coming up. We've got a health and leisure activity. So now West Park Cafe is run by the same group that run the leisure centre. We're going to do a schedule of activities that we can use their equipment that they're going to bring into the park. We've had the court marked out, the tennis court marked out with pickleball, for example. So we can start to teach people how to play pickleball and get them to come and use that multi-site space more actively. So we're going to run that event in the summer. We're then going to do, in the season of creation, we're going to do another activity with the tree nursery, but also get the children going looking for mini beasts around the park, not to touch them, but to go and find them, photograph them and come back and tell us what they found. And then we'll do a Halloween activity and Christmas carols again.
Lovely. Very good. Any other questions at all?
Can I ask
Councillor
another
Harewood, yes?
question,
Yes, of
please?
course, yes, absolutely.
In your next paragraph here, you have of the people who come. I wonder why the whole of Macclesfield is not invited. Why is the invitation not known, or is it known to other areas of Macclesfield?
It should be. I mean, Abby very kindly posts things out for us. So we have things posted through the council's activities. We have our own Facebook page, so we post everything out through Facebook, which obviously can be accessed by anybody who follows us. And every time people come to one of our events, we encourage them to follow us again on Facebook so that they know when the next event is going to happen. And we put posters up around the park, which obviously is people that were already in the park, but we have some other outreach ways of reaching people outside of those that would naturally already come to West Park to try and encourage more people.
Can I just clarify? I don't think in the bit that you mentioned you exclusively just inviting to the internet. It's an open invitation, but you are assuming.
We're assuming that people.
You're making an assumption.
You know,
yeah.
It's not a park that's got an awful lot of car
No.
parking space.
No. So you're assuming
it's
that.
usually people who
Yeah.
are close
Right.
by.
Okay. Any other questions at all? No? Would anyone like to propose? I'm happy to propose. Councillor Gilman, happy to propose. I'm happy to second. If we should take it to the vote. Thank you. All unanimously agreed. That's excellent. I've just remembered for both Friends of West Park and Helen for the Brownies, the Ralph Brocklehurst, while the King's School is still being done up, is active, then they look it up. The Ralph Brocklehurst Foundation or grants, they do grants, but it has to be sort of for green things, and it's a 5-mile radius from the King's School site. So 5 miles will reach to St Barnabas, because I checked it out for the South Park Pavilion. But so do apply for those while it's still active. That's £2,000, I think, is there you can apply for. So good stuff. If people want to stay, you'd be very welcome, but it's just dry finances from now forward. So thank you for coming, and if you're heading off, that's good. Lovely. Lovely to see you all, and thank you very much for all you do for Macclesfield. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll move on to 5, which is the grant updates. These are really just for noting. Does anyone have anything that they want to comment on? 5.1 is BU Support Hive. Laura's given a little update about her first, how she's starting her friendship sessions. Any comments or questions or anything? No. And then 5.2 is the Macclesfield Ladies Football Club. Anything anyone wants to say? No? Okay. Financial reports, item 6. So, spend to date, end of May 2025 is 111,597, which we have to approve it now to then take it to full council. Okay. So, I have obviously reviewed all the finances, so I'm happy to propose it. Would anyone like to second? Lovely, thank you, Councillor Wilcox. And so should we take that to the vote? Everyone happy with the spend to date? Lovely, thank you very much. That will go to full council on the 28th of July. And I will try and remember to attend. 6.2 is the reports. Do we have to agree these or voting? Okay, 6.21 is income and expenditure. Any comments? No. 6.22, 6.23, 6.24, and I would just like to say, as I say every time, this is not because we haven't read them, we have read them, we tend to talk about them in advance. If there's small errors or small inconsistencies or things we don't understand, we generally will speak to Laura in advance. So it may seem as if we're very quiet, but that's because the work that we do in the Finance Committee generally happens outside the meetings, before the meetings. Yes, absolutely.
There is never any small errors.
Of course there is never any small errors. Any small
questions.
exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you very much, Town Clerk, for putting me right. 7, date and time of the next meeting is 7 p.m. on the 29th of September 2025. Gosh, so end of meeting, and everyone has a good summer break if they're planning a break. Thank you very much for attending.